On first down, they hand off to Marlon Mack. Huge hole, 50-yard line. He's at the 40, still going near sideline. He's at the 10. He's at the 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Marlon Mack. Touchdown, INDY. And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. Leonard with his second INT, and he's streaking down the near sideline. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's gonna go. A pick six for the Maniac.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. We are coming to you live to discuss the pregame details between the Colts and the Tennessee Titans. We finally have a primetime game for Indianapolis. It's on a short week. It's not going to be fun for them, but it's certainly going to be fun for us. We finally get a chance to see two really good teams here today and an AFC South divisional matchup. It sure is going to be a fun one. We got Cody Felger and Michael Burgess in the house. Boys, how you doing today?
I'm great, man.
Let's go. I'm freaking pumped. Let's go. Bring that juice, baby.
He's got the juice today.
We get back to the division tonight.
Derek, I told you last week I thought that the Baltimore Ravens game was the biggest game since Kansas City, but now after waiting today, this is 100% the biggest game we've had in a year. This is we got to go all cylinders here today.
Oh yeah, because it decides the fate of the AFC South after today. I mean, obviously there's more games to go and more AFC South games to play, but I mean, right now it's two teams that looked prime to take over the AFC South. So things have to get done tonight. Cody, I wanted to find my Got Juice shirt, but I can't find it anywhere. It's probably in my laundry somewhere that I didn't want to have to pull it out, but oh well, regardless. But, anyways, guys, we got a good one today. I mean, we tried to get some Tennessee Titans YouTubers on today, but one said that they had plans and the other one said he was drinking already. So, maybe he's scared of this Indianapolis team and that's why he's getting drunk already. So who knows? But I mean, let's get ready to go here, guys. I mean, obviously, guys, we got to talk about the biggest topic, and that's what everyone's talking about, and that's Derrick Henry and this Colts defense. Cody and I gave our thoughts with Titan Upload on how this defense is going to do against King Henry. We were talking about that on the live stream on Tuesday. And Michael, I want to get your opinion on it because I know that we haven't had you on yet. Mm-hmm. How do you think this Colts defense stacks up against Derrick Henry and this rushing attack of Tennessee?
Man, I think we stack up as probably the best matchup that they're going to see all year, including the Steelers and including the Ravens. I mean, when you think about how we upgraded with DeForest Buckner this year, and we upgraded with Grover Stewart becoming a massive, unbelievable star that we all know about now too, I think that we can definitely stop him, but it's going to be tough, man. The last time that we played him, I think he had 26 attempts for 149 and 1 TD, and that was the last time that Darius did play as well, but I think he was dealing with some injuries. Now, I think our defense is a lot faster this year too. So it's just going to depend on if the first guy who gets to him can actually slow him down, or if Derrick Henry just stiff-armed him and gets out of the way, All
right, so I got a quick question for both of you, and Cody, will start on this one with you. What is more likely, that Derrick Henry rushes for 120-plus yards or rushes for under 70 yards tonight? Which one is more likely to you?
That's a good question.
Because, I mean, Dalvin Cook ran for 64. Dalvin Cook ran for 64 yards in that week 2 matchup. And obviously, the Colts have allowed a couple of decent rushers this year with, obviously, Cleveland and with the Baltimore Ravens with, Lamar and everyone else running at the end. But, I mean, who knows with this one? I mean, I think for me personally, I think it's more likely that Derrick Henry doesn't get over 75 yards here tonight. I think that this Colts defense's game plan is to shut him down. I think that's their ultimate game plan. Do not allow them to get the run going and make Ryan Tannehill beat you with his arm.
Have to.
What are you thinking there, Cody? You thinking under 75?
To answer your question, I think Yeah, I'm thinking under 75 to answer your question. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Michael, what
honestly,
about you, man?
And a lot of times you look at that last.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you got it, Cody.
Yeah, go ahead, Cody.
Okay, I was just going to say you look at last week's second half, and that was the half that Baltimore really started to run the ball. And I looked at why. Well, the defense was on the field for so dang long, they were exhausted. Like if this offense doesn't screw over their defense again, I think this offense or this defense can really do some work on this Tennessee running game. I mean, they've been doing it all year against some of the best backs in the league. So I think it's likely if the Colts offense doesn't put their defense in awful situations, if they can stay on the field, convert third downs, convert in the red zone, and force the Titans to pass it, I really think it's possible.
I mean, I'm going to have to agree with you. But at the same time, if I'm going to have to play devil's advocate here, it's going to depend on the turnovers. It's going to depend on if Phillip can make sure that we have the ball in the right area, like Cody just said. And it's going to depend on, how much time they have the ball. And, Derrick Henry has been really good outside of the tackles this year too. So if we can contain him and keep him inside kind of that whole area, Darius Leonard even said he wants to meet him inside the tackles. If we can keep him inside the tackles, I think we can keep him inside 75.
Yeah, and obviously that's going to be a little more difficult for them in this game because obviously Taylor Lewan not playing and obviously losing Jack Conklin last offseason to the Browns. That makes it a little more difficult for them to run to the outside when it comes to playing a defense like Indianapolis that's so fast on the edges and being able to make guys come back inside. I'll tell you what, man, you brought up a name. I think it was Michael that brought up that name, Grover Stewart. Guys, this guy has just been phenomenal this season. I think Buckner and Grover Stewart might have just initiated themselves as the best interior defensive line group in the NFL. I firmly believe that when you look at it from a passing perspective and being able to stop the run. I'll ask you this, guys. How long do you think it'll take for the Colts to re-sign Grover Stewart? Because I think we're all in agreement here that this guy's going to get re-signed, especially after this year and what he's putting in. It's almost the thing where I saw Zach Hicks mentioning it a bunch, and I kind of agree with him here. Like, why don't the Colts just re-sign him now? Sign him now because you know that he's going to be back. And if you wait too long and you let this guy continue to do what he's doing, you're going to miss him on that discounted price. So, Michael, what do you think? How long until the Colts actually sign Grover Stewart? Do they do it before the season ends or do they wait till the offseason?
If I'm Chris Ballard and I'm thinking about it right now, I would 100% do it tomorrow. But knowing how we are with our cap, knowing that we are, like, if you saw, I think ESPN put out a stat saying that we're still the number 3 most in cap space after the trade deadline. Knowing how we do that, I think there's probably some analytics that I don't understand, at least until he has to be paid or until we have to sign on a new guy. But I mean, just if we're not talking about money, pay him right now. Right now.
Cody, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. I just think right now, just focusing on day-to-day. Don't focus on the contract. You can wait that out. Like, it's not like he's going anywhere. Yeah. So I get what you're saying because maybe you'll get him cheaper. But, I mean, he's going to be a Colt for hopefully a long time still. He's, 27 years old. So definitely going to be a Colt for at least 3 or 4 more years at the minimum. So I definitely would say, yeah, as soon as you can, to be great. But I understand – if you're just like, I don't want any distractions for them or we're playing well, let's just focus on what we're doing right now.
This comment right here. Man, we got Cap and I ain't talking Cap. That's funny. That's a good one. The Cap gang here, guys. We know it. Yeah, I mean, can we just give like Grover Stewart the most improved player award already? Like, can we do that? Or is there somebody else that comes to mind? Because there's a couple guys that bring up to mind, like maybe Bobby Okereke, you got Braden Smith, you got a couple of guys there that could make their names in there, but like, who's been the most improved player on this roster from basically the last year, maybe 2 years to what they are now. Like, Cody, what's yours for early most improved player?
Oh, Taekwon Lewis, undoubtedly. There's no question in my mind. He has been phenomenal. I mean, you take from the lack of production he gave you to now being a key rotational piece. I don't know if he's technically still a starter, but he started a game, I know, at least a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, going from almost a roster cut, like we talked about this in serious detail, like he could be on his way out, we said earlier in the offseason, if he doesn't step it up. And he comes in, he steps it up, he takes the offseason, gets himself right, and he's looked like a completely different player.
Yep, absolutely. Michael, are you on that train as well, or is there someone else?
100%. I mean, Taekwon was my first guy. I thought of like three guys right and first and foremost. I thought of Taekwon first. I thought of I don't necessarily think the production is still there, but he's making key plays when he needs to. Is Danico Autry, especially when he's out on different positions sometimes, and he's playing 3 technique, 1 technique, and the end. But the third guy, I don't know why I kept thinking about this, but I haven't heard a lot about him, and that's usually a good thing about an offensive lineman, is Mark Lewinsky. I haven't seen him make a penalty. I haven't seen, at least from what I've been seeing, I haven't seen him make any sort of mistakes on any blocks or anything like that. I've seen the right side of our line be incredible, and Mark's part of that. And so he was the third guy that I thought about as well.
They actually did say that so far there are only 2 tackles in all of football who have had a minimum of 250 passing snaps this season and yet have not allowed a single sack. One of those being Andrew Whitworth, the legend of Andrew Whitworth that we all know. And then there's Braden Smith. That's the only 2. That's it. That's the list. So, I mean, and a lot of people have talked about, Nelson's looked, pretty good this year compared to his usual standards. He's not been as good, but Costanzo's been solid at times, but he's had issues. Kelly even this season has had some issues with run blocking, but you're right. Like the right side of the offensive line actually looks like the dominant side of the offensive line this year, which is dominant. I mean, it makes you feel good if we can get that going in this matchup specifically, because Braden Smith's been throwing guys around. Cody, you got something? Michael is
no, I mean, I think it's weird that Costanzo and Kelly are the 2 that are really like struggling. Yeah. Especially because Costanzo, the last couple of years, it's been probably some of his best seasons. So it's been weird to see him this year. It has been a noticeable drop off. Even in pass protection, like just in his play overall, it hasn't been Anthony Costanzo we've seen the last couple of years. So that's weird. So that's why I put left tackle really high up there on the priority list, because Costanzo, it's clear that his play has dropped from a season ago, and you re-sign him to a 2-year deal. So maybe next year, who knows? Maybe he's even worse. Hopefully not. But I mean, his is pretty concerning, especially because he's right around that 30 age. So. I know some offensive tackles like Andrew Whitworth. It's like they're like fine wine, right? They just continue to get better and better as they get older.
For real though.
I'm a little bit concerned about Costanzo, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe he can improve in this second half of the season, but right now he's the biggest concern for me, quite honestly.
All right, well, let's talk about some injuries here, fellas, because there's a couple of key ones on both sides. T.Y. Hilton, the biggest one. We have to understand that T.Y. Hilton's coming back. That's great to see. Actually getting another receiver, which is great because obviously we've been seeing that as an issue for a while. And, Jack Doyle being out tonight could potentially see some more Trey Burton for sure. Mo Alley Cox did practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, but is still listed as questionable. My guess is that he's going to play today. How much and what he's going to do, I don't know, but my guess is he does play since he was a participant. And some of the guys that the big key ones for the Tennessee Titans, which is Adam Humphries and Adoree Jackson both being out. Adam Humphries, last season, one of the best slot wide receivers in the game. He was Ryan Tannehill's go-to whenever he had a tricky situation, and not having that tonight certainly hurts them. They'll have to rely on A.J. Brown a lot more. And And then obviously Adoree Jackson in that secondary. I mean, the Tennessee Titans secondary has been pretty good this year. Adoree Jackson, has had some pretty forgetful games against Indianapolis, needless to say, but he is still a pretty solid corner. Here's which one before I even get to my next question. What's your takeaway, guys, on this injury report? Who's the biggest one for the Colts and for the Titans? Who's the biggest name to look out for on that injury report, not playing or playing today?
I'd have to go with Mo, actually. I think we know that Jack Doyle's out, obviously, and we know that Trey's going to be ready to go. But if Mo's out too and Mo's a game-time decision, that's going to be tough. I mean, we're going to have to bring up the practice squad. I can't remember the practice squad guy for the life of me. I know it's Noah O something. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, I don't forget how to pronounce that last name. Yeah, I don't know how Cody remembers.
I remember. I had to figure out how to pronounce his name.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think we need to make sure we have Mo, need to make sure that he's healthy and ready to go, because our two tight end sets, even if one of them's out, I'm still comfortable with the other two, But if both of them are out, then we'll see.
Cody, what are you thinking?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to pull up the Titans' last injury report real fast.
Definitely
for the Colts, Mo Alley-Cox is one to watch because, I mean, Jack Doyle's one thing, but that's a big that's a big loss if Mo Alley-Cox is out. I mean, he's had some really good games when he's gotten the opportunity. So I'm definitely hoping that he can play. I really am hoping. That's the biggest one for the Colts. Obviously, Adoree Jackson probably the biggest one for the Titans. He's a good corner, even though, like you mentioned, he has had some forgettable games. I remember a couple years ago, T.Y. Hilton torched him on an 80-yard bomb.
Yep.
I think maybe that one. Maybe T.Y. Hilton could be kind of my wild card guy that could potentially, he always seems like, playing in division teams, except for the Jaguars for whatever reason. In the Titans and Texans stadiums, he always goes off for some reason. So
yeah, he does. He does have good games.
Maybe T.Y. Hilton's a factor here. He gives guys like Michael. Yeah, he gives guys like Michael Pittman, Marcus Johnson, some of these guys a little bit more opportunities to make plays. So definitely T.Y. Hilton could be one for me as well.
And here's the injury story I wouldn't say injury story, but the big one that everyone was talking about in Titans Nation just yesterday. Corey Davis, the wide receiver for the Titans, I believe it was his brother who died in an accident 2 days ago, and he informed the team that he will be playing today, just a day after. I am afraid, boys. I am afraid that, I hate to put a narrative on this kind of thing because obviously this is more than football, but for guys that have emotional games like this, when relatives have an unfortunate passing and they go on to do incredible things, because, it's just something about the spirit of their relative or whoever it is that was impacted by tragedy just goes through them and they just have an unbelievable game. I am nervous that this could be one of those because, Corey Davis is definitely a very bright and very talented wide receiver who, has kind of been thrown under the bus with the shade and the greatness of A.J. Brown and what he's done so far. And, Corey Davis definitely deserves to, have a good, definitely deserves to have a good game after this. Obviously respect to him and for wanting to do that. I certainly don't think I could, play a football game right after, having a relative pass like that. That certainly is bad. But anyway, we'll go on here to the Colts defense. Or actually, let's refrain from the defense for a minute because I want to talk about special teams. Okay, we talked about Titan Upload, and he said that, the amount of disrespect that the Titans have on their special teams is certainly bad this year. The Colts have had a pretty solid special teams throughout all the year. Blankenship has been pretty solid with his field goal percentage, and Sanchez has been a good kicker, and Isaiah Rodgers has been one of the best returners in football. And obviously, the Titans just have Gostkowski. So that's it. That's it. But either way, how many field goal kicks are we thinking Gostkowski misses tonight, Michael? What are you thinking?
Man, if I say he's going to miss 2 or 3, he's going to bang them all right down the middle. So I think Gostkowski might miss an extra point, maybe 1 or 2. But I think in these big games, he's built for them. He's won a couple Super Bowls with them. So I know he's had his struggles. I know he's not had the best year, but I don't think anything's going to be worse than what Adam Vinatieri was last year.
Yeah, that's what Cody and I were telling Titan Upload. Like, we understand your pain because we went through it last year. Our kicker couldn't kick the broadside of a barn to save his life last season. But Cody, what are you thinking for special teams? How much of an impact does that make tonight?
I mean, I think it could make a big impact. When we saw, and even in that Cleveland Browns game, when it seemed like all the air was out of the Colts' sails, Isaiah Rodgers comes and takes it all the way back for a touchdown. All of a sudden, the team has life. So it's just one of those opportunities. The Colts have 2 of the most electric returners in Isaiah Rodgers and Nyheim Hines, who we haven't seen break one this year yet. So I think it's a big deal. I really do. And just having your kicker being able to just make the routine kicks, the kicks that he should make. I mean, we took that for granted last year.
Yeah.
And we're never going to do that again after last year. So it's definitely great to have that. Rigoberto Sanchez, best punter in the league, in my opinion. And the thing I love about what Sanchez does, and a lot of people will maybe not notice this, is on his kickoffs. A lot of times he doesn't kick it into the end zone. He kicks it at like the 5-yard line, so it pins the offense back, the opposing offense back deep. Does the same with punts. So that guy is a weapon, and I really think this Colts special team could be a big difference tonight in a Colts victory between a Colts victory and a Colts loss.
100%.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this defense, because obviously that's the big topic and everyone wants to discuss what are we going to do tonight. So we already talked about the rushing attack. We're not going to initiate any more about that because, we've already talked about it. Let's talk about the passing attack for Tennessee because guys, this one scares me. The Colts have had over the last couple weeks have had some slight issues with throws in the middle of the field. Yep. And the Tennessee Titans certainly have the weapons to be able to insinuate that and show everyone what they can do. And that opens the game up so much. I mean, how concerned are you about this Colts pass coverage and what they're going to be able to do against the Titans, Michael? Because, I mean, I'm confident in our ability to slow down the run, but I don't know about Tannehill in this passing attack.
Man, it's going to depend on if the first half Cincinnati Bengals game secondary came out or the second half Cincinnati Bengals secondary came out. It's really going to depend on their mindset. It's going to depend on if they don't make stupid decisions like Rock throwing the Giovanni Bernard over, and doing the suplex. It's going to depend on how disciplined we are in our pass coverage and in our actual zone and make sure we're on our guy if we're playing man and make sure we don't lose him, especially if Xavier's on A.J. Brown. I have a lot of faith in Xavier on A.J., especially if he has to man up on him. But, oh, my God, he's been absolutely lighting it on fire. He's got 31 receptions for 457 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he was out for 3 games. I think 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure 3. And that's unbelievable. And it's going to be tough, and I want to make sure at least Xavier's on him the whole time. If anything happens, like while he's doing his motions and whatnot. But it's a toss-up. It's a coin toss.
And Cody, like who should the Colts put on A.J. Brown? Because obviously, Rocky Sin really struggles with guys like A.J. Brown, those speed guys over the top. And, Xavier Rhodes is good at, being aggressive up front, but I wouldn't necessarily count my eye on, trying to see him do any of that either. I mean, do they double tonight very often? Because, I mean, that sounds to me like what the Colts need to do to slow him down.
I mean, I put Xavier Rhodes on him. He's one of the best corners in the league right now. You let him go to work, man. Roads are closed for a reason. And, A.J. Brown's he's a physical receiver. Xavier Rhodes is a physical corner. Let him duke it out, man. I'm all for it at this point. Yep, roads are closed, man.
Absolutely.
I thought about that whole double team A.J. Brown maybe in case, we do get in that scenario. But then I looked up Jonnu Smith's numbers and Corey Davis's, and I didn't even know Corey Davis lost his brother. Corey Davis, he's got, let me see here, 29 receptions for 369 and 3 TDs. That's not bad. It's basically what T.Y. has been doing with more TDs. And then Jonnu Smith's got 24 receptions for 304 yards and 6 TDs. If we're going to double team, who's going to be on them? Like you mentioned, the middle of the field has been carved up. And I don't know if it's Kenny playing back. I don't know if it's Kenny just making sure that he has to get something ready, or I don't know what it is. But the middle of the field is wide open, and we need to work on it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Man, and I forgot a topic that I was going to go into. Yeah. I forgot. Go ahead, Cody.
Something additionally, Derek, that I want to add, something I want to add to stop this Titans passing offense is getting more sacks. I know the Colts pressure rate is near the top of the league, but their sack rate could be a little bit better. I think right now it sits at somewhere around 12, so a little bit better than the average. But I would like to see them, obviously pressures are huge, but I'd like to see them actually get to the quarterback a little bit more. And I think if they can do that, we've talked about it, especially more early on in the season, what Colts defensive line are we going to get, right? Are we going to get the Bengals defensive line that got, 2 sacks against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, who allowed 7 sacks the week prior? Or are we going to get, the Colts defense that was battering Matt Stafford all day? So I think that's going to be the big thing. Buckner, we obviously know, is a superstar. We already mentioned him and Grover Stewart. Some of these defensive ends, Autry's been playing pretty well. I'd like to see him continue to do stuff. Taekwon Lewis continue to build on what he's doing. Ben Bannigan, if he's not a healthy scratch tonight, I'd love to see him get more run at defensive end. Al-Qadim Muhammad's another guy. He had a sack last week. So I just want them to get consistent pressure and get to the quarterback a little bit more. And if they can do that and they can make him uncomfortable, I really think they have a good shot at slowing down this Titans passing offense for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Kenny Moore does tonight. Obviously Adam Humphries being gone, that leaves him kind of open to do a few more things. Maybe we could see that. I think if we can get pressure the way we did against the Lions, then this game is definitely going to be rough for the Titans, with 5 sacks and 12 QB hits. If we can get that kind of pressure tonight, then obviously they will make things very difficult. Let me see here. Hold on a second. I had something. Yeah, here's my brother again. My brother's stopping in here. Do I start Derrick Henry in fantasy? See, I told you, man, don't do it. I told you don't do it, but you could potentially. Now, I'll let you two answer this because obviously he wants another opinion. Derrick Henry is definitely a threat in the red zone. Obviously, he's going to definitely get a lot of snaps in the red zone if the Titans get there, which I definitely think they can a couple times tonight. What do you think, Michael? Should he start him in fantasy or should he potentially hold off?
I am going to have to say no, because I have A.J. Brown starting and I need him to do anything.
All right, I got you. Cody, what are you thinking, man?
Derrick Henry is literally like a freaking defensive lineman playing running back. So, he'll probably get a goal line carry or two. So, might be worth a start. Even though the Colts run defense is just, good. I could see the Titans running him first and goal or something like that. And him just being so large, it's hard to tackle a man of that size. So, I might start him. I might. I don't think he's going to get a ton of yards potentially, but I could definitely see him getting a few touches near the goal line. So I would never bench a Derrick Henry, honestly.
Yeah, it's probably a better idea because, you're right. The yards are not going to rack up. I don't think Derrick Henry is going to get you the 10 points from, 100 yards, but I think the touchdowns is the potential there, and obviously being 240 pounds, the guy is definitely going to get the ball every time you're in the red zone. So that definitely makes sense. Trying to see here. Anyone else?
How's the chat been?
Yeah, chat's been, it's been weird, but I appreciate that there's 93 people in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. I was going to say last week was awesome for us. We had, We had 150 people in our it was the pregame stream last week. And then, we had the 100 and I think it was, what was it? The last game we had like 165 or something. It was weird. It was a weird number. I can't remember which game it was, but awesome that you guys are in here. Let's see here. Do you guys think Michael Pittman Jr. gets a TD tonight? Probably not. I just haven't seen Phillip Rivers try to go for him yet. Here's another one here. Here's a good one. What do we think about Rock Ya-Sin? Well, for me personally, I feel like he's had a really solid season. The first obviously the first game that was really bad for everyone. So we kind of just forget about that one. And then obviously got hurt for weeks 2 and 3. And then obviously went to play the game against the Bears and had a really solid performance. Again, he still is going to struggle with certain kinds of wide receivers. He is not a very fast corner, and he's going to struggle against XY receivers that are able to stretch the field like that. But again, he is very physical. He's a guy that likes to play. He likes to play up front, and he's just a very strong competitor. So I think he's had a really solid season for me so far. I really like what I've seen from him, and I think he's definitely learning from Xavier Rhodes this season, at least in my opinion. Cody, I don't know if you agree with that one or not.
Oh yeah, it's weird because like when he makes one mistake, people are like all on Rock Ya-Sin's a bus train. It's crazy. Like people overreact about everything, so I'm not really like surprised by that. But like you talked about it, Derek, he hasn't allowed a touchdown pass this season. Beyond that dumb play in the Bengals game, I think Rock Ya-Sin's looked really, really solid here in year 2. I mean, I think he's built off of that second half performance his rookie season. I've loved what I've seen from him. I'd probably give him a BB plus, quite honestly, because I've never really seen him get burned at all this season. Maybe once or twice, but quite honestly, he's looked great. I love what I've seen from him.
Michael, what about you, man?
I mean, yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, I mentioned obviously the Bengals play. That was just dumb, but that was also like, if you think about it, that was his raw emotions about what was going on in that game. They were down 21-0 at that point, and he was pissed off. And so I'm cool with that kind of fire, and I'm cool with that emotion. And you're right. He hasn't given up a TD, and he looks just about as physical as he did last year, but he looks a lot more technically sound as well. Like he is being coached. He is listening to the coaching, and Flus is letting him run wild, and I love it.
Absolutely. Jared became a member. Hold on. Is that an upgrade? I want to check that because I thought he was a member already.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, is that an upgrade there? I thought he was too. I got to check that because I got to make sure that's an upgrade because I remember that he did that before. He rejoined. He rejoined. That's what it is. Okay. But either way, Jared, thank you so much, man. Thanks for being in here. And thank you for the membership, man. Good to have you back. Glad to have you in here. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah. Derek, let me just say this before we go and move on. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, man.
Cool. For the 100 of you in here, thank you so much. It means a lot to all of us that you're here. We are trying to get this stream to 100 likes, first off. There's 105 in here, so don't say that's not achievable. I think we're somewhere around 30 right now. So let's get this stream to 100 likes. Let's also get ourselves to 4K. We are somewhere like 60 away from 4K. Tonight is the night. Right now in this stream, we are going to get to 4K. I believe it.
54 away.
We believe in you. All right, we can do it. Oh yeah, we can do it.
I think we can do it by the end of the night. Y'all better hope that, and you better help us out, man, because we're trying to build something here. We're trying to hit 4K. We're trying to hit 5K before the end of the season, man. We want to be that podcast, okay? Come on. Let's see here. Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to see Jonathan Taylor get the ball more? The question of the last 2 or 3 weeks for a lot of Colts people, we've been on Frank Reich a lot about how they're shifting the Colts running back situation around because Jordan Wilkins is starting to get a lot more snaps and stuff like that. So, Michael, what do you think, man?
It's weird. I don't remember being unbiased, being like thinking outside of being a Colts fan. I don't remember a running back committee being so inconsistent. I don't remember having maybe outside of the Patriots a couple of years. Nyheim Hines has some of the best games of his career in the weirdest spurts ever. And then he has some of he just does not touch the ball. And then Jonathan Taylor has 20 attempts this week. And I understand benching him after the fumble. I would honestly probably do it too, because that really brought us down right there. But it's so weird. I don't know. I want to see Jonathan Taylor do well, but he's got a lot of time. But I want to see Nyheim Hines out there more. And Jordan Wilkins isn't a bad option either, but Nyheim Hines needs to have the ball. That's what I think.
Cody, what are you thinking, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, what you're saying, Michael, about benching. I don't agree with benching him. I think that was dumb. I mean, I think the penalty, or obviously the fumble, was hurtful to your team. How the heck are you going to give your second-round pick confidence if you don't play him in the second half one snap? And that's just, for me, it's okay, Jonathan Taylor in that game, he was averaging, I think he ended up averaging 4.5 yards per carry. Give him more of the football. He's got the talent. You got to back it up. And that was a big gripe I had after the game. Frank Reich said, we have all the confidence in the world in Jonathan Taylor. And you benched him. So obviously you didn't have that confidence in the second half. Back up your words, man. That's what I was just confused about. It was very conflicting from Frank Reich. Actions speak louder than words, Frank. You can say all you want that we believe in Jonathan Taylor, but until you prove that, I'm going to have a problem with that.
Yeah, and it was funny too to think that Jonathan Taylor was saying that I completely agree with everything Frank Reich is doing. Yeah, but I mean, he's gonna say that. Why would he say anything else? I don't understand why he wouldn't say anything else. You gotta be smart here, Frank. We gotta keep getting Jonathan Taylor more experience. I understand giving, Jordan Wilkins the fair share of the snaps. I get that, but use Jonathan Taylor in the right situational football, and the same way with Jordan Wilkins. I don't want to see Wilkins catching screens. I want to see Jordan Wilkins running through the middle, and I want to see Jonathan Taylor catching those screens. Also, another member, Corey Miller. Thank you, Corey Miller. Thank you so much for joining the BTJPod gang. Thank you guys so much. Let's see here.
Now,
a couple more of these.
How much of Frank Reich saying we have all the confidence in Jonathan Taylor is that just being media speak? Or do you think because he's been doing that since Vinatieri. He's been doing that since he's been here, So I don't know. What is he saying behind the scenes that we don't know?
Yeah.
Guess we'll wait.
Right, and that's the question. That's a good question. And that's the thing that I'm just conflicted on a little bit is Adam Vinatieri is literally costing you games. Yeah, the fumble's unfortunate, but that's not costing you football games. And I get it, Vinatieri's future Hall of Famer, but in this sense, this is the biggest beef I have with Frank Reich. And I love Frank Reich, so I can say this. I feel like a lot of times he's speaking out of two sides of his mouth. A lot of times, with Adam Vinatieri, and Adam Vinatieri even said this: "I'm going to go until I can't anymore, and I'm potentially hurting my team's chances at winning." That was happening last year, and Frank Reich just didn't really do anything about it until Vinatieri was just too hurt to play. And I just don't like it. I don't like it at all because it just doesn't. The term accountability for this coaching staff, it just really puzzles me at times.
That's a good point. I mean, when you look at Mike Tomlin last year, I know it was a backup quarterback, but he was telling it how it was. It was like Mason Rudolph is killing our football team, and so Mike Tomlin's 8-0. Good point.
And 130 of you in here right now. Jump from almost 100 to 130. It's awesome. Real quick here. Let's see here. A quick question here. In all reality, if we lose tonight, what are our odds to make playoffs? Should we be worried? We still have a shot, but we'd have to, again, come close to winning out to, do that. I mean, you'd have to, we'd be 5-4 at that point. We'd have to win 5 of the last 7, most likely, in order to get a decent spot. So, that's going to be a close one. But here's another one I want to ask you guys. Me personally, bet under. Bet under. I'm not going over 48.5.
Every time I have ever given someone advice on how to bet for the Colts, like especially here in Charlotte and with my friends, it goes the opposite way. I've learned never to do anything. I would go over. Today, I'm feeling the over.
All right.
And
What
for
do you
that
think
reason,
it's
I'm going to go under.
I'm thinking it's going under just because I don't think the Colts are going to give up 27 points tonight. And for me personally, I don't think the Colts are scoring 30 either. So it's like, I think it's going to be a low 20s game. It will be close, but I don't think that anything's going to happen with that.
Well,
Matthew, thank you for the kind words.
I did say that in hopes for that because I am playing Indy's D on fantasy too. So I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh, man, you must be desperate then. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
What up, Trevor Howard? How you doing, man? How you doing? Let's see here. Let's see.
Nothing anyone cares, but I am actually undefeated.
This is totally a rumor.
Hey, there you go.
I heard that. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's like we talk at the same time. I just want to make sure we're good. Okay. I heard a rumor. This might be a rumor. It might not be true. Potentially what Jacob Eason may be active tonight. I don't know if there's any validity to that at all, but what was your guys' feeling? Say that just happened. What does that tell you about Frank Reich can say, we love Phillip Rivers, he's our quarterback, but if Phillip Rivers goes out and lays another stinker tonight, what are your guys' thoughts on that? That would be really interesting to me if that did happen.
Well, I mean, him being active, I don't understand why, but if that's actually true, then yeah, I mean, me personally, and this is not to be rude or be conniving to Coach Reich, because I love Coach Reich and I respect the man a whole hell of a lot. But honestly, his word on how much he trusts a guy and how much confidence they have in a guy almost means nothing to me at this point. It almost means nothing to me. I almost kind of glance at those words and just throw them over my shoulder. They go through one ear and they go out the other because, Frank, you said that about Adam Vinatieri. You said that about Jacoby Brissett. You're now saying it about Phillip Rivers, and after he lays goose eggs, and you're telling me now you have confidence in Jonathan Taylor, but yet you're throwing him on the sideline. I don't have any confidence in what anyone tells me. I follow the actions of what goes on. Your actions, like Cody said, your actions are speaking louder than your words, and whatever actions that he decides to take, that's when I'll believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
also here, everybody just comment "Go Colts" in the comments.
Yeah, everybody
Michael,
go Colts in the comments. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree. You're right. I'm listening to him every time talk about someone, and when he does say that, oh yeah, we got all the confidence in the world, because that's his go-to phrase. We got all the confidence in the world about this person, about Adam, about Jonathan, about Phillip. And when he says that, that's when I keep going back to, I think this is media speak. I think this is rehearsed, And so you're right. It is hard to take his word on the trustworthiness stuff. And that doesn't say good things in my head when when I'm first thinking about it. However, I love the man to death. I love Frank Reich. I love the person he is. And I know he's a great coach. I know he can make us win. I know he can help us win. It's just, when we really need that trust, it's not showing.
Did you ban somebody, Cody?
It was a joke. No, so I said, say go Colts. Somebody said go Titans. I said, you're banned.
Oh, Jesus. I was going to say, oh, Jesus. What happened here?
No, they're not.
All right. Well, hey, guys, listen, I think I'm probably going to head off here. Got to stop at the store before I go get my brother. But you guys want to continue, then you can.
It's up to you, Cody.
Before you go, give us your bold prediction for tonight. Bold prediction. Go ahead.
I saw Chris Maker in the comments, and he's saying he didn't forget the live stream Tuesday where I said we would lose. All right. I am switching my prediction. It's going to flip the opposite way. I said 24-21 in Tennessee Titans. I'm going to flip it. 24 Colts, 21 Titans. The Colts will take them down. Okay? Do I have enough juice now, Cody? I think I got it. Okay?
Not quite. Not quite.
Oh,
Go
man.
do the Dak dance and then we'll
Oh,
talk.
Jesus. Okay. Hold up.
Yes. He's actually doing it. Have you seen
For
this,
the
Michael?
fans.
I haven't.
I need to do this for the fans. Hold on.
Oh, it's so cringy. You just cover your eyes.
What is he-
Fuck this.
Oh, the Dak.
The Dak dance.
Oh my
Did I do it?
We
Did
had
I
to
do
do
it
it.
right? Did I did it?
God.
Oh man, they had
I
me
didn't
start.
see it. I closed my eyes.
Oh yeah, shut up. I don't know.
I did.
When did we stop? When did I start doing that? That was right before we hit 3K, wasn't it? Yeah, we right
Yeah.
before.
So maybe you just need to do it and we'll get 4K.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here, boys. But let's get a go Colts in the chat, and
Go Colts.
boys, hopefully we win, man.
See you, Derek.
See you guys.
Sure. See you, Derek.
Cody.
All right. Well, cool, man.
You
Yes,
mentioned
sir.
earlier that you think TY is going to be your dark horse. Do you know who I think my dark horse is going to be? At least for us. I put these down in the notes all day instead of working. I was writing down all these. I'm just kidding.
You know, naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For both teams, I put for the dark horse killer. I think for us, it's going to be DeMichael Harris. I think he's going to be involved a lot more because I think the Titans know who TY is. They know he's back. They know our tight ends, and they know we're going to try to run the ball and get the ball to our running backs. So it's going to have to be one of those other receivers. It's going to have to be either Zach Pascal, Michael Pittman, or DeMichael Harris, whoever it is. And I think personally, DeMichael Harris is going to have a bomb today. Maybe one, maybe two big plays that could really have something good for us. And then for the Titans, I put down Jayon Brown. I think he's gonna be out there flying. He's basically their Darius Leonard light. So that's what I got here.
Cool. I guess I'll just go with somebody else here. So for the Colts, I'm going to stay with the wide receivers. I'm going Michael Pittman, man. This is the game, in my opinion. Michael Pittman is going to go off. He had a great start to the first half last week. They kind of just went away from him. I think he's going to build off of that performance, and he's going to have his first touchdown. He's going to have his first 100-yard game. And honestly, this may be a little bit crazy. I'm feeling crazy tonight.
Okay.
I think he might have double-digit catches. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to do it tonight.
Man, that would be awesome. Because Phil has been spreading it around so much, too, to where, you never can really tell if anyone's going to get even, 7 or 8, but double-digit. I would be so happy. Oh, that would make me so happy on prime time to have our rookie do that. Oh, man. Oh, which, hey, by the way, I just got an actives list if you want me to say them.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking.
So Jacob Eason is inactive.
There goes my theory. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. Ben Banigou's inactive. He's a healthy scratch. Desmond Patton inactive. And then Jack Doyle.
See, I don't get why are you benching Ben Banigou at this point? Why is he not playing? It's similar to Taekwon Lewis last year.
Yeah.
It's why? What's the deal here?
Well, do you think
know.
that there is a long process? Obviously, with the depth that we have, we have so many good guys that we can rotate in and out. But do you think that there was this long process for Taekwon to where he's now hitting it? He's hitting his stride to where maybe Ben's doing kind of the same thing. I mean, Kamoko Toure kind of took a really long time to kind of develop too as well, And we keep hearing about Ballard say, it takes time for D linemen to get ready. It takes them all time to develop. And so maybe they're just playing the long game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's what they're doing at this point. You don't have to have him out there on the field. And your defensive line is playing good. It's not like they're last year where they're struggling at the 3 technique and Taekwon Lewis is a healthy scratch. No, this defensive line is one of the best in the league. They're getting consistent pressure. They're looking really good. So there's no need. As much as I would love to see him get more snaps, I get it. You can let him develop. You can let him just sit there. If you need him, if somebody goes down, he can go out there and he can play and he can give you some quality snaps. But yeah, I think it makes sense. As much as I want to see him because I think he's shown some good things when he's been in there, I get it. It just stinks because I want to see your second round pick be active.
Yeah, I understand completely. Oh, man. Let me see here. What else do I got?
What were the Titans inactive if you have them?
I only had the Colts. Let me see here.
Let me pull up the Titans. Let me see if I can find it.
Perfect.
All right, I got him here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Ryan Allen is either punter, I'm guessing, I think, or is he a quarterback? I don't even know who that is. It sounds familiar, but like
Is it
I don't know. But anyway, he's not a factor. Who cares?
Okay. He's out.
Adam Humphries, Adoree Jackson, and Isaiah Wilson is another one. It's a big one. Other than that, it looks like some depth guys. Those are the main ones that are out. So, I mean, that's kind of what we expected at this point.
It's going to be healthy.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I am very
definitely
excited to see mainly
I know, right?
the Titans pass rush. I want to see what they're going to do. Specifically, we mentioned earlier the left side of our line, how Costanzo's been getting hurt a little bit and not really doing as well. They've only gotten 10 sacks. And so we've only allowed 8 sacks in 8 games. And so if we can keep that holding, if we can keep being like some of the best pass pro that we've had, and they can't get to us, but I'm obviously going to be worried Clowney being back and healthy. We really do have a shot. And I think Phillip can sling it out there against their secondary.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Titans really don't scare me in their pass rush department. I mean, Clowney, I don't even think he's got a sack this year. So, like, he at this point, like, we were maybe lobbying early on, like, should the Colts go after Clowney? Obviously, you see now why the Colts didn't go after Clowney, which is interesting. But, yeah, I mean, they have Jeffrey Simmons, who's a beast. I mean, we've talked about him before. We talked about him with Titan Upload. Like, he's been a monster this season. So, it's going to be interesting to see how he lines up against this Colts interior offensive line, probably one of the best in the league there. So that's a matchup I'm going to be watching for sure. And obviously, Adoree Jackson being out, that hurts. But they did, just trade for a corner, Desmond King. So they have a little bit more at corner than normal. And unfortunately, T.Y. Hilton's son is no longer out there for the Titans. And I'm talking, of course, about Jonathan Joseph. He got cut by them. I want to see T.Y. burn him.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, but.
Oh, well. That was when the clown.
Yeah, I mean. What was that? I'm sorry.
When we went back into Houston in 2018 for the playoff matchup, Jonathan Joseph said something about T.Y. Hilton being a clown, and then he wore the clown mask in there.
Yep.
That was great.
Yep, I remember that. And T.Y. Hilton was hurt. I remember that. His entire freaking ankle was just destroyed, but he goes out there and he makes plays. That's why, as much as he's not been good this season, that's why I'm never going to say T.Y. Hilton's done, because he can just go out there and he can just do that. And it's encouraging that he practiced all week and he seems like he's good to go. So I'm really excited. Maybe this is the game T.Y. Hilton finally finds himself a little bit. I would love that. I've been a big T.Y. Hilton guy ever since he was drafted. I have his jersey. I love T.Y. Hilton. I want to see him have a good game tonight. I really think maybe this is just the energy he needs, prime time to show I'm not washed. I'm still here. I would love to see that from T.Y. tonight.
I would love to see that from Phillip too. The I'm not washed feeling. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I believe he's 7-2 against the Titans. And, we're going to have to wait and see. It's just I am worried about Desmond King. I know Malcolm Butler's out there too, and they got they got some good names on their secondary, but not necessarily the best secondary itself. But bringing in Desmond King and having him get, another week in the system, that's going to be tough too. We need to watch out for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, for the 164 of you in here, thank you for checking out the stream. If you haven't already, hit the like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed to us, this is one of your first times here, or if you just haven't hit the subscribe button, we'd love for you to do that. We are so close to 4K. We'd love to get it tonight, especially if we can get a Colts victory out of it too. That would be a double whammy. That would be a great, great Thursday night for us.
Yeah, it would be.
All right. So, yeah, and by the way, Mo Alley Cox is not inactive. That's something we didn't mention. That's great news for the Colts tight end group.
I'm always so worried every time he gets
huge.
hit.
Yeah. And what was that? Go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
I'm sorry. I think there's a little delay between us, but every time he gets hit, I'm so worried about his knees, because it looks like every time, the last time he got hit, it looked like the Paris Hilton thing where his knee was or his foot was planted in the ground and his you can do the math. And I'm just always worried about Mo every time now because he's always got a knee injury on the list. So let's hope he stays healthy.
Yeah. Oh, I know that Paris Campbell injury, man. That was brutal. So that definitely am scared about that for anybody else. And I hope that Paris Campbell comes back. I mean,
Me too.
that would be a great late season addition for this Colts offense. I mean, that'd be amazing.
Incredible. I mean, he played only really one game. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just looking at what time it was.
Oh, perfect. Well, he only really played one game because obviously the first time he got the ball in the second game, he got hurt. And he had 6 receptions for 71 yards. He was going to be like, I know it's one game, but that's great. And so I was really excited to see what he could do. So when he does come back and if he does stay healthy, I'm so excited to see what he can do.
Me too. And by the way, I think you said Paris Hilton, which is pretty funny.
Oh,
somebody was just reminding you that in the comments. It's all right. We have Paris and we have Hilton, and so it's easy to say that. So
Kyle Brand did that one. It stuck in my mind.
Yeah. I know the Colts posted that one time. We have Paris Hilton after they drafted Campbell. But yeah, we got about an hour and a half till kickoff. Kickoff's about 8:20. So we got a little bit of time here. Maybe we can check some of these comments from some of our people here and kind of see what's up with Colts Nation. We got some Titans fans in here talking some trash. We'll see. Hopefully,
I want to see.
Yeah, they're in here strong. Well, there's some interesting ones. Rivers getting picked 3 times is one.
I mean, okay. Are you guys going to intercept it 3 times, or is he going to throw 1 or 2 of those your way? That's the real question.
Yeah. Right. There's just some people saying tighten up in here.
Hey, man, it's going to be a great game.
I'm still browsing.
Playoff atmosphere. Like, there's going to be some fans there. I know that they're going to be pumping in the noise. We got Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call. Wait, right? It's Fox does NFL Network, right? I'm ready to go for this one, man.
Yeah.
Excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much more we can talk about except our score predictions here. So, Michael, I'll let you give your score prediction, and then I'll give mine for this game. I know we kind of said a little bit earlier, like, okay, we think it's going to be around this score, but let's get an official score prediction from both of us. Then we'll hop off of here. I'm going to try to do a live stream probably 5-10 minutes before kickoff. So for those of you in this chat, come back around that time onto our channel and check it out and watch my live reaction to the game if we can. So be sure to do that. But Michael, score prediction, go.
Man, if I'm sticking with that over prediction that I went with, and I am sticking with how I feel about today and how I'm feeling about the Colts, I'm going 31-27 Indianapolis.
Okay. That's good. I mean, that's great. And I predicted a Colts win as well. I can't remember what score I officially said, but I know I had the Colts winning. I know it was somewhere in the 20s. So I'm going to go I think I'm going to go 24-20 Colts. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, but I think the Colts are going to come out and win it. Frank Reich's record off of a loss is really, really good, really stellar. So I think the Colts are going to come out. They should have beat Baltimore if they wouldn't have had that meltdown in the second half. They were challenging one of the best teams in the AFC all game long, especially in that first half. They were leading. So I think the Colts are going to come out there, and they don't get a lot of primetime games, right? I mean, and they don't get a lot of primetime home games either. And that's a stat that was interesting that I saw earlier. Like the Colts have, I think it was somewhere like 5 out of the last 20 or something like that, or 7 out of the last 20 have been at home that the Colts have had primetime games. So Colts don't have a lot of primetime games, and this is the game that they can show the NFL, we deserve more primetime games. We are for real. I think this is the game that they can do that.
The last time we were on primetime, we beat the then future Super Bowl champions with Jacoby Brissett. We will bring it tonight.
That's right.
No doubt about it.
We better bring the juice, or we're gonna be mad in the post game recaps and stuff like that. We can't afford in this tough stretch to start out 0-2. We can't.
Nope.
We have to come out strong. And this is the key game. If you want any chance at winning the division, you have to come out and you have to play your best football tonight. You have to bring the juice at every level tonight. It all comes down to this at this point.
Mm-hmm. Amen, brother. Amen. Go Colts, baby. Tighten down. Tighten down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Titans down. Bring that juice, Colts Nation. Bring it with me tonight. Our Colts are going to be the division leaders after this game. Book it.
Let's do it. Thanks, Cody.
All right. Let's go. All right. Hey, thanks, man. And thank you, Colts Nation. Be sure to tune in about 8:20-ish, around there, maybe a little bit before that, for live game by play-by-play for the Colts and Titans Thursday night football matchup. It's going to be a good one. Hopefully the Colts come out on top. All right. See you, Colts Nation. And as always,